What's up? Welcome into Under the Hood with Jonathan Hood. Thanks so much for downloading the podcast and checking us out right here on YouTube, youtube.com. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment to everything we do here on YouTube, as it is now time for Report Back. Yes, it is. With Charles is with us. I'm with you. We're right before the Cubs and White Sox game. Report Back with J Hood and CJ. Make sure you leave your comments right into the old chat. And there he is, ladies and gentlemen. It is Charles, who is now completely in black. I do not see him all of a sudden, but you're going to have to come in and come out again, Charles, because I do not see you all of a sudden, even though you're right there in the mix. But we're so glad that you're with us here. Please leave your comments about what we are going to have, because it is a special day in Chicago. And the reason why is because the rivalry is back. It is the Chicago Cubs against the Chicago White Sox, and I cannot wait. The first of a three-game series taking place at the friendly confines of Wrigley Field, and it's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of fun to be able to check out both of these teams. You know why this is great is because both teams are in contention, and the rivalry is pretty close. I think the Sox might have a game up on the Cubs, I think, historically between these two teams. But what's so great about Cubs and White Sox is that usually one team's up and one team's down. One team's destined for the playoffs. One team is completely out of it, and someone has to play the role of spoiler. Well, in this situation, it's great because both teams more than likely will go to the playoffs. You know, that coming into this game here, the Chicago White Sox are 5.5 games up in the American League Central, and the Cubs, they are a ball club that are going to make the playoffs this year. Despite all the injuries and the upside down part of this team, as far as all of the pitching that they've had to deal with in and out, the mash unit that they've had, listen, they are going to be able to make the playoffs, which is going to be very, very interesting to see. There was some news about the Chicago Cubs going into this game. Let's go to that right now. So what we have here is CJ, Edward Cabrera is placed on the 15-day injured list because of a blister. Yeah. And then there's Javier Assad recalled from AAA. He was going to be sent down, and now right back up. He goes to Iowa and then right back up, like within 24 hours. Dansby Swanson is going to be out for the rest of the regular season. It says placed on the 10-day IL. That's going to be a little bit longer, so he's going to be out a little longer. That was just updated by Jesse Rogers from ESPN Chicago. Also, Kevin Alcantara recalled. So is Owen Miller, and also Daniel Palencia transferred to the 60-day IL. We're going to see if that is going to be the case or not. But the point is, though, is that it has just been a great story of the Cubs because they've had so many injuries with their pitching staff, but yet they're right there close to Milwaukee in the National League Central. And so being 5.5 games out, whatever it is, that's kind of a miracle that with all these injuries that they've had, they still are in contention.
And that probably speaks to the talent that this team actually has, and them being able to contend even with everything that's going on with the Cubs. You got to tip your cap to them for what they've been able to accomplish, at least so far this season. Now, you know, can they finish it? Can they catch Milwaukee? I'm not really sure if they can catch the Brewers, but they should be able to make the playoffs as a wild card team.
Yeah, I think so too. I just think that that's amazing what they've been able to do. And so with this team, it starts with Pete Crow Armstrong, because Pete Crow started off hitting ninth and struggled and had a hard time in the outfield and balls going over his head, which is like, what's going on here, right? Supposed to be the lightning rod and the catalyst for the Cubs. And all of a sudden, he just turned it around where he is the straw that stirs the drink for this Cubs team. And then from there, it's Bregman. Bregman started off slowly. He goes, Wrigley Field doesn't have a monster, huh? There's no monster out here that I can hit doubles off of. And now he started to really come into his own as well. And so now offensively, since about July, let's just say July 1st, one of the hottest teams in baseball from an offensive standpoint. So, I mean, with all the issues with the pitching, the offense has been up and down like any other baseball season, but they are in contention. I told Cap on Cap and J Hood weekday morning 6 to 9 on ESPN 1000 on the ESPN Chicago app. I told Cap, I said, there should be one mission statement for the Cubs right now between now and the end of September is to track down Milwaukee. Like if you like instead of just rolling the ball out there and just like we'll just play as the best we can and then get into the playoffs. I think one of their big keys is to play as good a baseball as possible try to track down Milwaukee, get as close as you can. If you don't catch them, that's fine. But you should have a mission statement to do something.
Yeah, you should. And the goal at the end of the day is, hey, let's see if we can win this division. We've gotten this far with everything that we've gone through. They're within striking distance. You've got a good 6 weeks left in the regular season. Let's make a run. Let's see what we can do. Let's see if some of this pitching can hold up. Let's see if some of these bats, can really turn on. And let's make a run for Milwaukee. I mean, worst case scenario, you're a wild card team. Best case scenario, you win a division, and now you're in serious contention of vying for a World Series. I mean, outside of obviously the Dodgers, but you've got a shot, if you can run Milwaukee down.
Shout out to Colin Cowherd, by the way, Charles. And here's why. So, he lives here now, right?
He does.
He lives he does. He moved from Los Angeles to Chicago because his wife was like, I've been moving all over the country with you. Bristol, Connecticut, Tampa, Seattle. It's like in LA. And now she said, it's my turn now. And he was like, okay. So she's from here. She's from the Chi. And so I guess he has a business here. And so Colin lives here. So he's on the train listening, right? And apparently on his show today, he quoted me without saying me, of course. Because I asked Jesse Rogers this morning, I said about the Dodgers. I said, are the Dodgers, are they bored or are they bad? And Colin said, local Chicago radio. They were talking about the Dodgers. Local Chicago radio, because he always just pushes us to the side. Can't give aggregation, can't give props, can't give local Chicago radio. And so that's our show. So I asked Jesse, I said, hey, are the Dodgers bad right now because they have not been playing their best baseball, or are they just bored? And I equated it to what you and I love in the NBA, where there's an NBA team would just kind of just coast like in March and April into the playoffs. Like, we know we got to make this town. We know we got to play these games, but we're really focused on the playoffs. And so shout out to Colin for not giving us aggregation and credit, but he did take our question. And so I guess the answer is like, it's a combination of both. I think that's what Jesse said, bad and bored. They're so talented and got so much money, and they're always going to be the favorite, And so, you talk about the Cubs. This is what the Cubs have to deal with, like a stacked roster. And that's why the Cubs got to continue to play their best baseball. Who knows? They could be there at the end against the Dodgers.
They really could. I mean, if you look at the rest of the National League, they have a legitimate shot of getting to the NLCS if they can, run down Milwaukee. Do they have enough to get past the Dodgers in a 7-game series? Probably not. Yeah. But it will be exciting to see if you're a Cubs fan, just to see, how much pressure they possibly could put on the Dodgers in a 7-game series.
All right, let's talk a little bit about the Chicago White Sox as well. I cannot wait. Cubs Sox is always fun. It just galvanizes the city, the Cubs and the White Sox. The White Sox, and what I love about this team, Charles, and please leave your comments in the chat. We also have super chats as well. We'll put you right to the top if you go to our super chats. We appreciate your patronage and checking us out for Report Back with Jay Hood and CJ. And so with the White Sox, what I love about this team is that it's not predicated on one person. We talked about PCA for the Cubs being that guy, the straw that stirs the drink. And for the White Sox, it could be anybody. I am just overjoyed about how they swept the Tigers' ass out of Motown. Take that, Medetti. How about that, Jason Medetti? You like that one? How about that? So what I liked about the team is that it could be Murakami, and it could be Vargas, and it could be one of the Montgomery brothers, and it could be Antonacci, it could be Romo, it could be anybody. So on a day in which Sean Burke did not pitch well, the Sox offense came to play, and they came from behind and won that game against the Tigers on Sunday. Now here we are, a sweep against the Tigers, and that's a far cry from Father's Day weekend, because Father's Day weekend, the Tigers swept the White Sox. And so you see the growth there. So what are your thoughts on where the Sox are first place and actually not looking over their shoulder right now?
Oh no, they put some distance between themselves and the second place team. So yeah, it's really about them finishing, what they started. They're with 7 games over 500 with, like I said, 6 weeks to play. You've got 3 players on this team that have 25 or more home runs, which, like, they hit the ball out of the ballpark, and it could be anyone that can do it, that can get it done. And that is what makes this team, maybe not necessarily for the rest of this year and possibly getting to the World Series, but looking down the line, hey, the White Sox are back. They're back to playing just that winning baseball that we really hadn't seen, consecutively in a good 20 years. Back to when Ozzie had that World Series run and they kept contending for division titles, through the rest of the 2000s. This is the type of fun, that we had as White Sox fans, being able to watch this team compete. I'm loving it. And they did it with smart draft picks. They've done it with smart free agent moves. They haven't gone out and just backed up the Brinks truck, to put a competitive team out there on the field. They've just made smart decisions.
I mean, look, they didn't back up the Brinks truck because Reinsdorf, he put his body between the truck and the bank. That's the problem. Like,
Yeah.
I'm going to lay down. You're not going to spend money. And so that's what happened there, you see. He was not going to allow that. That's why I give Chris Getz and his staff and the players all the credit. Reinsdorf is like 49th or 50th as far as contending. He turns the lights on at the rate. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for turning on the lights at the rate. And someone else actually does that. It's not even Jerry with the flipping the switch.
Yeah.
He's last on that list for me because Chris Getz said, "Oh, so I can't shop at the Whole Foods. We'll just have to go to the Aldi. Anybody got a quarter for my cart?" That's what it was, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
CJ, see, I just want everyone to know CJ doesn't get that because
oh no, I got that all reference.
He doesn't shop at Aldi.
No,
we
definitely shop at
Aldi. He is.
No, there's definitely an Aldi's like right near the house.
Okay, all right,
less than 5 minutes.
Okay,
but no, you're absolutely right though. Smart trades, smart draft picks, smart free agent acquisitions. They have really put something together. This is a team that's going to be fun to watch if they can keep it together, barring injuries, for years to come. I'm loving what Chris Getz and the team has done with the White Sox. You as a Sox fan, long suffering, not terribly long suffering because we have won a championship in this century, but that 20 years is starting to feel like 40. Especially how the team has performed over the last couple of years. It's good to see them back to playing competitive baseball.
I want this White Sox team. And first of all, I love that the Cubs and Sox are both competitive because it gives us extra stuff to talk about beside the Bears. And we'll get to the Bears in just a moment here on a Report Back with Jay Hood and CJ. So I like that there's 2 teams in contention because it gives us more to talk about. And also it tells a story, right? The team that spends a lot of money, let's not put the Cubs in the poorhouse now. They're part of the evil empire. Like, they're not the Dodgers, but I mean, over the years, you've heard me talk about the evil empire and how people recoil at the fact that teams spend so much money. Oh, they spend so much money, Well, you know what? The Cubs spent a lot of money. They wanted to make sure they got starting pitching, and they want to get Bregman on the team. And so that cost along with what they have. So they're in that top 10, top 11 in spending. And then on the other side, here's 35th and Vec pulling up with kids, right? With kids, low payroll, and again, I love the fact that we're going to see here in the postseason, well, who wins out? Who's going to win this thing? Is it the team that's the try-hard team that they have no idea what they're doing? They're just playing baseball, having fun, or the veteran-laden team, the Cubs, that spent a lot of money, that they have now that they're healthier, they're stacked with pitching, they have enough hitting to be able to get through at least to the National League pennant, at least you would think, because from my standpoint, it's pennant or bust for the Cubs. How many times are you going to try to go after this thing and then still can't get through Milwaukee? That's a lot of Bears, Packers parallels to Cubs and the Brewers, a lot. Because the Brewers are the bugaboo right now. The Brewers, smaller market, doesn't spend a lot of money, not there in free agency, and look what they're doing. Like, they continue to reign in the National League Central. On the other side, here's the White Sox pushing down Detroit, pushing down Cleveland, pushing down Minnesota, and just playing free and just playing loose and having fun. 20-year-olds getting it done. So I love the dichotomy of what we're seeing here.
Now, I'll ask you this. Who needs this series more?
Well, in the short term, it's the Cubs. The Cubs lost 2 out of 3 against St. Louis. I don't know how that happens. Like, if you're really trying to contend for this, you don't just – the pitching let down. Yeah. Boyd was not good in one of those starts, and also Cabrera was not good in his start either. Clay Holmes was good in that one start against St. Louis. I think that was a Friday game. But, you know, for the Sox, they shouldn't rest on their laurels because – well, I mean, they swept the Tigers, and I know this is not an American League Central matchup, but I kind of think the Cubs need to be able to have that kind of get back on the wagon here from a winning standpoint. I'm not rooting for that. I'm just saying I think that that's probably what the case for the Cubs. So, Scott Merkin, we should bring this up. Scott Merkin. We're rushing through this thing, man, because we got some Bears football to talk about here. Scott Merkin, see how I put that there? I didn't have time for the fancy AI stuff. We just right there from the Twitter, right there.
Yep.
So Colson Montgomery is not going to play in game 1 of this series. It's a day off for Colson. Kyle Teal scheduled to make a batting practice today for the first time. Continues to feel good. That's interesting with Kyle Teal, right? Yeah. He's out since the World Baseball Classic, comes back after a lot of time off being injured, goes to the minor leagues, comes back, has a non-contact injury, CJ. Non-contact injury behind the plate. No one it was a play at the plate. It was the way he twisted his leg. Yeah. And so he had to be off again. Now, I'm one that I don't miss what I don't see. So I wasn't like, oh my God, we need Kyle Teal. Well, it didn't have Kyle Teal. And then for a long time, so I don't know what to expect. So now it's good that he'll be coming back because someone needs to be able to catch and be able to call a good game back there because you don't have anyone. It's Romo and Caro, and just like I know Caro's been on a roll now with the ABS system, but he sucks at that. So maybe Teal can be able to handle that. And then Scott says that Miguel Vargas leads the American League with 83 runs scored and is 5th in baseball. Pico Armstrong ranks 3rd at 87. Strong. Like that is 2 offensive weapons for sure in all of baseball. White Sox start today with a 3-game lead over the Astros in the American League's 2nd seed, which means the White Sox could, I don't know, have a bye. That's in the cards, a bye to start off the playoffs if it keeps going this way.
Did you honestly think that would be on your 2026 bingo card when this White Sox season started? No. And Kyle Teal plays the guitar. Okay, that's also part of it. I saw that as well. Important information there.
We're going to switch over and talk about the Bears in a second, but we just want to, if you have some thoughts, we'll be glad to get your thoughts. Oh, so 7503 says this. He asks, or she asks, who do you think that Smith could be a starting pitcher? Hagen Smith. So I saw Hagen Smith. It's so funny working with the UIC Flames and doing their baseball. It got me watching more college baseball. He said, "How do you have time for that?" It's like, hey man, you just have to watch it. You just got to check it out, right? Yeah, because you see Missouri Valley Conference baseball, and it gets you into the rhythm of college baseball. So I put on the SEC network up here or the Big Ten network. I'll put some games on. And I saw Hagen Smith, this left-hander from Arkansas, right? I'm watching Arkansas baseball. Yep, I was. And I said, who the hell is this? They throwing 199 on the black. Like he's killing it, right? I'm like, who is this guy? I'm like, well, he's going to be a good pitcher for somebody. He ends up being with the White Sox. I was like, okay. So I think it's funny. It's funny that you bring this up. 7503 is because I suggested this morning that because we have TBAs for the next 2 games after this one, it's going to be Castillo for game 1, and then the Sox don't have pitchers listed for game 2 and game 3. It's only Cubs Sox. You don't have a pitcher ready for game 2, game 3. But I thought Hagen Smith for like a couple innings, it becomes like a bullpen day. But I can understand if Lucas Smith gets the ball. I got no problem with this hard throwing left-hander who's used to starting, but has been coming out of the bullpen. Sure, I could see it for a start.
Yeah. Why not? I think if he can give you good 4, stretch you into the 5th inning with a quality start. Why not? Let's see what this young man can do. Yeah, and you may have something if he can go out there and see, especially during the offseason, hey, can he extend himself? Can he maybe go get 4 strong innings? Now, can he do 5, 6? You might have something with this young man, but in a game, I'm not going to say it's not meaningful because it's Cubs Sox is always meaningful.
Sure.
But in a game where you're comfortably in front in your division, why not use this opportunity to see what the kid can do?
How many people at the job getting at you for Cubs Sox? Anybody at the job getting at you? Social media?
Not yet. Not yet.
Nobody.
It's
okay.
Coming. Yeah, it's coming. I know. My job is, I want to say 70, probably 75, 25 Cubs.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But everybody's quiet. I guess the reason why it's quiet now is because both teams are good.
Yeah.
So there's not a lot of smack talk there. I make sure that we are locked in our Instagram here throughout the game. If not today, then definitely early in the morning. Because I just want to see how many fights we get. Because that's just part of it, right? In the stands.
Over under 4.
Oh wow, that's okay. But that's it. It's handled a little bit differently at Wrigley than it is at the rate.
Yeah.
We got spry young people that get in there and break it up. Come on, honey. Don't fight him now. Let's not do this. Let's not. All right, Granny, get the fuck out the way. Like there's gonna be an elbow,
Right.
And Granny goes down. You see, that's what's gonna happen. See, the old Andy Frayne ushers from Clark and Edison. I was in that joint. I know that. They're so friendly. They're so nice.
Yeah,
you go right through the gate, man. It's like they don't give you that Gen Z stare.
Yeah.
That Generation Alpha stare. It's like, here, your ticket. And they don't do that like at the rate, just like and like when you get on the concourse, it's a lot friendlier. But like at the gate, those dudes been standing there all day, just like, hey man, let me just scan your ticket.
Yeah.
Let me just get you up out of here, that kind of thing. But like up north, though, man, it's like they've been there for like 80 years. They've been taking tickets for 80 years. All right, honey. Could you imagine what that's like? Like it's gonna be a fight right there, like one of the sections, and just like, all right, now please, or the old timer. Now listen here, now be careful. Hang on. Hang on.
Let's break it up out there.
Come on. Let's not do that. Don't do that. What are you, Jack Johnson? What are you doing out there? Like it's a different vibe at Clark and Edison. So I wouldn't be fighting nobody, but I'm sure that we'll get that because Cubs and Sox fans are so into their teams.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's great. We're going to switch over. Did Jay Grizzly? Do we have Jay jump in here? We got a lot of new comments coming in. Leave your comments in. There he is. There's Jay. There's Jay Grizz 1. Thank you so much for checking in, Jay Grizz 1. All right, we are doing we're doing report back. Boom, right there.
Right there.
Charles, where can people find you on social?
You can find me TikTok, Threads, Instagram, CTJ14, YouTube, all the good spots where you can find me. Talking all kinds of things. Bears, Bulls, wrestling, current events, all the good stuff.
Culture.
By
the way, our podcast is NABJ approved. Thumbs up. Give him a thumbs up, Charles. That's right. Hey, thumbs up.
Yeah,
we have been approved.
Yeah, I don't need that smoke from Stephen A. trying to blast us on his show.
He and I are cool. We're fine.
Yeah,
we're fine. So leave your comments in as we switch over and talk about the Chicago Bears. The Chicago Bears, by the way, what is going on here? This is at the game against Cleveland. If you're watching on YouTube, on the scoreboard while the Bears are beating up the Browns, it says Under the Hood.
I think that's copyright infringement.
I think it is. You see that, right? Brought to
Yeah.
you by Geico. Now, hang on a second. That ain't
Yeah.
right.
I think you need to look into this, sir, because
Yeah.
that's not good. That's not cool.
My dude, Pastor Lawson from Victory Church, sent me that. And he said, "Hey, man, I think you need to make a phone call because that ain't right." So Under the Hood right there at the Bears game. That was awesome. But the blue and orange, the Chicago Bears, man, let me tell you. So here's how I look at it. And some will just like push to the side, like, it's preseason football. We don't get the chance to see the starters, all that. Can I just tell you, there's friends of mine in other markets that are sweating out preseason because they have no idea what their team is. One of them is my friends at ESPN Cleveland. They have no idea what this is with Deshaun Watson and Shedeur Sanders. You and I and a lot of Bears fans have been immersed in this nonsense of like, who's the quarterback going to be and who's going to be, who's going to be on the defensive line and who's going to, whether or not the coach is going to lose his job and all this stuff. We have been through the muck and the mire of this nonsense. I look at preseason like this. I look at the battles for the second and third team. I look for whether or not the team's disciplined, whether or not they're healthy or not. And so that's a thumbs up. Like, you ain't gonna watch all 4 quarters. But the point is, though, is that when I watch Bears football, you can push it to the side like, I don't see Caleb's on it. No, the team had 2 penalties in the first preseason game, 2. And they shut out the Browns in the second half. So I'm not saying that that's a Super Bowl team that we saw out there at Soldier Field for the Bears, but I look for the positives more so than it's just preseason.
And we saw quite a few positives in that preseason game. The defense, especially more so in the second half, was really able to get pressure. Shedeur had a rough go out there in the second half once he got into the game. The other thing that I really like to see, especially given the circumstances with Kyle Monangai, was the reemergence of Roschon Johnson. That young man was running with purpose, like the rent was due. I mean, that's how Roschon was running out there. It was good to see him because obviously we didn't see a lot of him, last year, whether it was due to injuries or, Kyle Monangai really making his presence felt with the team. But seeing him out there, doing his thing, running hard, just giving you north-south type of running is a welcome sight.
I think that's right. What happened with Kyle Monangai was unfortunate.
Yeah.
So this is in practice for those that missed it on Sunday. Kyle Monangai, and there's no pads. This is for the guys that did not play in the Saturday game against the Browns. And you had a defensive player, a veteran defensive player that should know better, Grady Jarrett, who went at the knee of Kyle Monangai. And it's like he stood over him just like, I'm sorry, man. Sorry. Like, but it's the instinct, right? Like you don't think to pull up. And he made a mistake and pulled up. It wasn't very smart by Grady Jarrett, but the aggressiveness is there. But you don't want to do that to your own teammate, let alone not in pads. He wasn't protected. It was weird.
Yeah, it was unfortunate. Like you said, it's not smart. And one of your key weapons on offense is now expected to miss multiple weeks. I'm pretty sure he's not going to be there for the start of the regular season and may miss a few games. Hopefully, surgery won't be needed, but I'm sure that the further doctor's reports will kind of give a conclusive, analysis of what needs to be done. Having said that, hey, look, I don't need to see Caleb. Yeah, I know people are like, well, you should get reps. Why? We know what Caleb can do, and Ben Johnson obviously is comfortable enough that he doesn't need to see Caleb a lot or at all during this preseason because of what he's already seen during training camp. Caleb's ready to go. He's ready for the season to start. He has, I think the tools that he needs to really have as if last year wasn't a breakout season, like a real true breakout season. We're talking well over 4,000 yards for him this year. Ben Johnson really loves this kid. He seems to have complete control of the offense and what he wants to do, who his weapons are, how he likes to get his weapons into the spots where he needs them to. And when you start talking about his weapons, whether it's Rome Odunze or whether it's Luther Burton or your trilogy of tight ends now that you can throw to, he's got pretty much every single thing he needs to, man, possibly give the Bears back-to-back division titles this year.
We've gone 30 minutes and gone ad-free, if you've noticed. No ads until now. We have to talk about the merchandise that we have for Under the Hood with Jonathan Hood. As you're watching this right now, make sure that you like this video. I see a lot of you in here. Make sure that you like, share, subscribe, comment, everything we do here. We have got merchandise available to you right now. We have a summer sale that's ending, I think, at the end of September, somewhere in there. So we have got T-shirts, we've got hoodies as well. And so check out our merchandise. The link is in the bio. And by the way, Charles Taylor himself has got the Under the Hood hoodie.
Damn,
because
right there.
Because his wife put him in the basement, so it's a little chilly down there. so that's why he's wearing a hoodie in August, folks. Is because he's being mistreated.
Well, let's not do that. She's listening.
So just it's unfortunate what's happened here. So we'll also have a QR code in the bottom just for Charles, so you can just get by. You can understand he's just left with just a hoodie and a door locked.
A door locked, and and some water every now and then. But,
so check it out. He's got the hoodie right now. So why not get prepared for the fall?
That's
Watching
right.
yourself on the seat. Hold it up. Let people see, Charles.
Look at that. That's nice. It's warm. It's comfortable.
Yes.
Just make sure your wife doesn't, take your hoodies. Protect your hoodies, Kings. Protect your hoodies.
You know what? While it's the summer, do it now.
Yeah.
Lock them away, because it's going to happen. As soon as you pull them out of like the the tote, or take them out of like a trunk or wherever you got them hidden, it's all over. So
I'm just saying, next thing you know, now she's wearing your Under the Hood hoodie, and it's like, man, what the hell happened? Protect your hoodies.
Yes, we also have Tuesday Wrestling Tuesday as well, our monthly wrestling show as well. So go to the link in the bio, and I have a link tree, and you'll be able to see Under the Hood merchandise that's available right now. Let me go to the yellow pad, sir, and also we'll read more of your comments here. Still to come, we have some thoughts about the Bulls because the NBA schedule is out. I got a chance to talk to Nick Friedel, by the way, who covers the NBA for the Athletic, theathletic.com. Charles, you should watch that interview, man. It was good.
Oh, I saw it. It was good. That was good stuff.
You should see that, man, because we were going back and forth talking about certain issues in the NBA. And so we want you to be able to be part of it as well. Oh, so Tyson Bagent. I remember now. Oh, yellow pad, man. Always got to remember the yellow pad saves a career. Just remember that. There's no way I can remember Tyson Bagent went 13 for 22, 169 yards and a touchdown off the top of the dome. There's no way I can do that unless I wrote it down. And then Case Keenum, 9 for 10, 151 yards and 2 touchdowns for him as well. So the offense, again, the running game, from my standpoint, the running game could have been a little better, but then the offensive line is trying to work out the kinks too. So I thought Roschon was fine. Chroma did a nice job. I thought the kid from James Madison, he had 3 tackles for a loss. He had 2 sacks in the defense. So, you just like to see guys being able to pop up and do some things on both sides of the football.
Yeah. First and foremost, try to get as many people, out of that game as healthy as possible. That's what you're looking for first and foremost. And then, like you said, this is not the preseason to be worried about your starters and what they can and maybe can't do on the football field. This is about your depth. This is about trying to find these young players who can, be able to contribute to the team, to be able to get some snaps when needed. That is what you're looking for if you're Ben Johnson and the rest of this coaching staff. Who are going to be these players that are going to be able to relieve some spells from the offensive line, from the defensive line? Can, Roschon get in there and get some, carries? Can some of these young wide receivers be able to, give Caleb more options to throw to? And then on the defense, losing Cody Bryant sucks. But now, this is an opportunity for someone like Josh Blackwell to see what he can do. you unfortunately you're going to have to leave your number one, first round draft pick out there. But hey, this is what you're in the NFL for, to get that experience. And he's going to have trial by fire out there in that secondary. But I also think the kid can play. So if that defensive line can get some type of pressure, that'll make his job a little easier. If not, he's just going to have to learn, the hard way. But I still really like this team's chances of really making a deep run in the playoffs this year.
It's up to the Bears to prove everyone wrong, right?
Mhm.
Because Ben Johnson already said, well, if Liam Combs says that the head coach for the Jacksonville Jaguars, if he says that we have regression, I guess we're the candidate for regression. So he's using that on the dry erase board, right? It's like everyone thinks that we suck. Everyone thinks that we're going to be going backwards like Washington and going backwards like Green Bay and goes. So he has to keep the pressure on because this Bears team is loaded, especially on the offensive side of the football. I still have my questions about pass rush. The injuries in the secondary are a question mark, but it doesn't mean that the Bears are broken. They're not broken because you still have a lot of great parts. Cricket Commish, who's a big supporter of Under the Hood, says, I hear my friends on one hand bash the Bears training staff for Kyler Gordon, but then applaud them for Ozzie Trapillo coming back sooner than expected. Well, okay, so let's talk about both things.
Yeah.
So first, clearly, Ozzie Trapillo has gone to Benny Hinn, and he's put the miracle water on that knee, on that leg, right? Clearly, in an all-white suit, Benny Hinn on Channel 38 back in the day would just make sure that people will be blessed, right? I mean, all of a sudden, because people just jump out the wheelchair, just putting the hands on, just
healed.
Just all of a sudden, because that dude is not supposed to be practicing without a brace. Are you kidding me? And he's a big dude, man. Like I saw him in person last year, and I'm just like, oh my God, it's you think he's big on TV? You just in person, and so for him to be practicing without a brace, CJ, it's like wow. Now here's the thing: I want to make sure it's clear. Ozzie Trapillo is not the elixir from the jump to be the answer at left tackle for the next 10 years because he still has to learn position too. Remember, this is a naturally right tackle. It don't mean that he can't play left tackle, but the point is that when we look at all of these choices, Braxton Jones, Karan Amagaji, Wills Jr., like Braxton Jones is going to start the season. Will he end the season? I don't know because that's up to Trapillo. Amagaji is not the answer. I'm here to tell you right now. Like the kid from Yale, it's not it. I've seen it. Seen it in practice. It's just not. That's not the answer. And then Wills played. I guess you could say he played the best at left tackle. That's not saying a lot. He gave up a sack too, but still, I think he played the best at left tackle. So it wasn't horrible. It wasn't great either. But just great to see Trapillo up on his feet and can move around. I guess that's my point.
Yeah, no, that's when I saw the news, I was like, he's back? How? Like we were expecting this dude to miss most, if not all of 2026. It was like it just looked bad when he went down with the injury. So for him to be back now, again without, it's amazing. So I think he does start the season behind Braxton Jones. I think Braxton Jones is your game one starter. Just out of him being serviceable. And at his spot and kind of knowing the offense. I think probably by the midway point, if Trapillo's 100% healthy, there's your starter at left tackle. But like you said, he still has a lot of learning to do. But I think his upside more than enough to supplant Braxton Jones.
You were telling me that if Ahmed, who had a touchdown in the game, by the way. So if I look at this, go back to my notes, I know they got into the end zone. If he has any special teams value, then Roschon Johnson's days might be numbered in Chicago. If Britton Brown is better than Roschon Johnson, then Did Britton Brown get a touchdown? I think he did in the game.
I think he did, yeah.
Okay, so it's okay to move on from the Eberflus guys. Like if you feel like Roschon Johnson is not effective, or you don't think he can be able to be as effective as Swift and Monungai, then just move on. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's all right. I mean,
Yeah.
like he's a backup in Texas and had some good numbers. He got here,
Mhm.
got hurt. He's got the kazoo helmet on now.
Yeah.
So like it's what it is. It's all right if you
Yeah.
move on.
Yeah, I think fans are looking at it because he did have, you know, some breakout games early, and they like the way he runs. You know, he runs with aggression, he runs hard. You do have to wonder, can he stay healthy? And you know, you've got other players now. You know, that's the thing about having Ben Johnson here, and having him kind of cook up what this offense can be. He's going to go out and get players, so he's not necessarily counting on a Roshan Johnson because, hey, I got this guy, or I got this guy, or, you know, I've got Caleb, I've got these options, you know, that he can do whatever he wants really with the offense. I mean, would I like for Roshan to make the team? Sure, but I mean, it's not a guarantee. And you know, if it's not, you know, you just kind of say, hey, it was nice having you while you were here, but you know, we've got bigger and better things to move on to.
I see Jay Gris says, I think Kyler is laying low under someone's hood in the Minnesota field parking lot at practice. Like, you mean like Tariq Cohen, who's still in the building? They were like, Tariq? Is Tariq Cohen still getting paid? Go downstairs and find Tariq Cohen. To when you go make Stapler, like it's like that kind of thing, right? It's like Office Space. Like, what's going on here? Tariq, are you still getting paid? Yeah, get out of here.
Yeah.
You're nuts. What are you doing here? But the well, Kyler Gordon, which is the other half of that question from Crooked. So, I mean, the coaching staff won't talk about Kyler Gordon. He was asked, like Ben Johnson was asked, like, so what's the latest on Kyler? I got no update. He was in the facility all summer trying to rehab.
Mhm.
And I know it's just strange that these other guys are passing him up, but it's like, hey man, you just got to move on. Like if he's not prepared, and this is why there's a great opportunity for Malik Muhammad to play nickel. I know he didn't come here to play nickel, but he's going to have to. You have somebody with some speed back there. And boy, you talk about opening up the fire, the fire hydrant and drinking out of the fire hydrant. It's Thieneman and it's Muhammad, the kids.
Mhm.
They thought they had some security blankets back there with Kobe Bryant and some of these guys. It's like they got to learn quick. These guys.
Yeah. If they do, it's you can't feel for the kids because it's a wonderful opportunity. But man, they're gonna have some rough days out there, especially if that front seven, can't apply pressure. But this is how you can make it in the NFL. If you can, work through that trial by fire and just, being able to learn as you go and succeed. I think these two young kids have that opportunity to do so. Thieneman definitely, but yeah, it's gonna be rough on them. I'm not even gonna sit here and sugarcoat it. It's going to be a bit rough. There are going to be some games where this defense is not going to be able to contain anybody, and you're going to look to these young kids as your last line of defense. And it could be a long afternoon, on some of these Sundays. But overall, boom, there it is. There it is. This is a Bears team that fans should have a lot to feel happy about.
And lastly, sir, as we report back right here with Jay Hood and CJ, the Chicago Bulls. First, before I put the graphic up, how about Norm Powell? You hear what Norm Powell said? Norman Powell said, when asked about the Bulls, Norman Powell said, we got an opportunity to be really good or really bad. That's an actual quote. He's right. But the last part of that is correct. They have an opportunity to be really bad.
This is the Caleb. I got to get the names right because now we have two Calebs. This is the Caleb Wilson show, and he is the reason why you should be watching Bulls basketball this season, just to see how he will develop and adapt to the NBA game. That is the only reason why you should be watching Bulls basketball. Everything else is who can play with him. That's the only other question, because he is your legitimate star. He's going to be your legitimate franchise player. He's that good. But it's going to be, can Buzelis play with him? Can some of these other guys play with him? Outside of that, I'm not looking for anything special out of this Bulls team. And then watch as I say this, they win like 45 games and make the playoffs.
I hope not. That's the wrong decision.
Yeah, I know.
No, don't win for it, because if you can't do that, because if you did that, then you might as well just have kept the Billy Donovan administration.
True,
because Billy was no different than Tom.
Yeah.
They were trying to win ball games. They weren't trying to tank.
Yeah.
So that's like this team's not talented enough. If they won 45 games, you're booked.
Yeah, because you know who you are. Yeah, you know who you are. If they do win 45 games, even with Caleb Wilson on this team, you're the Utah Jazz of the early 2000s. You'll win 45 to 47 games, but you have no chance in hell of winning the title.
Some of the key matchups for the Chicago Bulls as the schedule came out. Still a lot of back-to-backs. There's some 3 games and 4 nights for some of these teams. Like, what the hell are you still doing this for? My God.
Yeah.
Silver's just losing the grip on the league. Wizards is the home opener. That's a win. And then, oh boy, Celtics. That's a big game at home. Atlanta is going to be improved. That's going to be a better team. Knicks, the champs, coming in on December 1st. Utah Jazz. I think they might be done with tanking now. They've been doing this on purpose for a while. I think they're going to be better. We mentioned Atlanta. Lakers coming in. Good to see the Washington Generals come to town, huh?
Oh boy.
God.
Yeah.
There's going to be some side-to-side 4-corner passing there, man, with Luka.
I mean, Dr. Naismith will be proud of that latest scene that's coming out.
My God. Not Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, just Cream Abdul-Jabbar. Pacers coming in, Minnesota. Minnesota's going to be wild. I'd love to be on that plane.
Oh, man, that is going to be – that is must-see television from the Minnesota Timberwolves, because that thing can either be incredibly awesome or it is going to be an absolute train wreck. It's one of the two, and they'll still be good enough to make the playoffs, though.
Like Ball and Edwards on the same team is going to be fun.
Yeah,
that's going to be a must watch to see how that gets done every night. And Minnesota, Brooklyn, and of course the NBA Cup highlights too. I think we might have a chance. I sent you the graphic. I think we might have a chance here. Like Washington and Charlotte. Celtics and Hawks, I can't help you, but there might be a chance for the Bulls in the Cup.
They could actually, do a little something in the NBA Cup. But it's going to be a long season. It's a long 82 games. But the thing, as a Bulls fan, you need to take solace in Caleb Wilson.
Yeah,
that take solace in watching this young man really do some special things out there on the basketball court.
Like Rookie of the Year candidate. Immediately.
Yeah, like he should be in that conversation. Staying healthy. Yes, he should definitely be in that conversation.
Do you have any thoughts about the LA Lakers? They see the Buss family is completely out of the Lakers. That came across this afternoon. They sold their interest, and so no more Buss. All I can think about is that show, man, that we saw about the Lakers with the Showtime.
Showtime, yeah.
Magic just banging anything that moved. That was amazing.
that was great television. I'm really pissed at HBO for canceling it after 2 seasons, but yeah.
The guy that played Magic was fantastic. It was
he was.
Smile, everything else, just hit anything that moved. It's like it wasn't like a bit. It's like I felt like it was a documentary.
Right.
What was happening with the Lakers then? Yeah. Showtime.
Wow, the Buss family not being involved with the Lakers at all. I would have never imagined that. Even after Dr. Buss, passed away. I just never would have imagined that the Buss family would not be involved with the Lakers at all, like nothing. Maybe selling part of it, to, someone else, but still kind of having, some form of control, but to have nothing, like, hey, we got this, 12.5 billion. We're good now. We're just going to sit back. I did not see that coming.
I did not either, but that's just, I mean, that's when you push your chips in.
Yeah.
Oh, only if the McCaskies are so lucky.
Ugh.
If somebody wants to buy the Bears, right? And they just like, hey, every one of you McCaskies, we're paying all you guys off because that's their only business is the Bears. They're not into the spirits like Rocky Wirtz was or the Wirtz family. At least they had liquor, like as a backup plan. Like the McCaskies out, they don't have like real estate or anything. This is why when we get to the stadium conversation, it's like, well, we can't privately own the stadium because we don't have any money. Well, how? You've been holding the Bears forever. Like, no, we don't have any liquid cash. And it's just like, because you only own the Bears. They don't do anything else besides just go to games and wait for the dividend check. And it's kind of like, unfortunately, we won't get that private stadium built because the McCaskies don't have the money. But clearly, Bob Iger and that group, they got the money.
Oh, yes.
I kind of think, CJ, and we'll have a longer conversation about this, but I kind of think that Adam Silver is losing his grip on the league. And I talked to Nick Friedel about this. Go back and check out our thoughts. Nick and I had a long conversation about this, like trust in the league, right? There's a lot of stuff that David Stern would not allow, as you well know. Under like, Jordan suspension with a wink, just like that, your retirement, come back, that kind of thing, and just like Chris Paul deal. For basketball reasons, we will not allow the deal to happen. Just there's certain things I'm watching, like in the middle of the night, all of a sudden the Lakers are just owned. They're just have new owners, and one of them is the former head of Disney, Bob Iger.
Right. The other is the brother to the son-in-law of the president of the United States. Like that happened. This is. Not sure what Adam Silver's doing. There's just a lot of things that you're scratching your heads. Let's just the whole rollout of the season and so many teams, like you said, having back-to-backs, 3 and 4s. What is going on? And then other teams are crying because certain teams don't have these problems of so many back-to-backs and 3 and 4s, but we do, and it's just like. You don't have a group of like mad scientists sitting in a room somewhere to kind of evenly plan out the NBA season. Like, he is beginning to lose his grip. And, I wonder, are we going to get to the point where whether it's the owners or the Players Association, we might have a vote of no confidence against this guy.
I think it's fair, but here's the thing: from the player standpoint, it's cool. It's cool because it's 51-50 players. It's the most even that is in sports. Like as far as revenue and the agreements that the players and the owners that like. I know the owners would like to have a little bit more power, kind of like in the NFL. But for the player standpoint, everything's good. I just think the aesthetics is a problem in this league. Like where are you going in the future? You're making Rob Manfred look like Pete Rozelle. You really are like all the innovations of baseball, right? ABS test and like the shorter games. And if you believe in TV ratings up, interest is up, even though they're smack dab ready for a strike here. That's not good. But despite Rob Manfred, not being able to pronounce the number 1 draft pick's name, Chalewski, Rack Chalewski. He's a boob. Yeah, he's a boob, but his sport is thriving. Yeah. His sport's got a lot of parity in it. It's Dodgers and everyone else, but it's like you got some parity now. And so, but the NBA, as much as you and I love the league, there's just problems that need to be solved. Like, why do I turn on a game, Charles, in the season, and I see 2 teams that are unrecognizable from a uniform standpoint? You ever dealt with that? You ever put on a game like? I know you watch every Bulls game. But there's other games like on Amazon. You turn it on, it's like, why are the Celtics dressed in pink?
Yeah.
Why are the Heat in blue? Like what is going, like, you have to like lock in and say, like, who are these teams and who are these players? Like, there's a lot that's not aesthetically pleasing about the league lately. So,
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's not. I mean, everyone and their mother has had discussions about load management, just the style of the game and how it's the contrasting styles that we were used to, back in the 80s and 90s. You had your Showtime Lakers, you had your teams that are more defensive minded, teams with big centers. So you always had that, inside out type of flow. Everything, just about everything now is, you're running up and down the floor, and it does look exciting.
Yeah.
But it's like, penetration, kick out three, fast break, move to the open player three, or, someone goes in, for a dunk or anything like that. I mean, when you have guys like DeMar DeRozan, professional basketball players,
Yes.
That can't find roster spots, like, that's wild to me. But this is the NBA that we're in now. It's a lot of run and gun, a lot of 3-and-Ds, and it's just I think it's turning some of the fans off, because you're seeing the same type of thing, because the analytics tell you have to shoot a certain number of 3-pointers in a game to be competitive. And I think the variety, the different types of matchups is what made the NBA so fun. And now there's just not a lot of that right now.
It was tolerable when you and I were growing up watching the Bulls go out west, because it was always fun. Stay up late. Mom got to stay up late. I know you got to go to school, but the Bulls are playing the Clippers, or Bulls are playing the Lakers, or Bulls playing Golden State. And so and I'll end this way. So rest in peace, Don Nelson, who made the game fun, right? We talk about all these threes now. That's all they were shooting. Like, you had Run TMZ, you had Tim Hardaway, you had Chris Mullin, you had Mitch Richmond. Remember that?
Yeah.
You had 3 guards, 3 small forward. Chris Mullin played like a guard, so like a big guard, right? But you had 3 guards on the floor. And it was so different, that basketball, right? Because everyone had the traditional little man, a shooting guard, small forward, power forward, big thumper in the middle, right?
Yeah.
And Don Nelson's like, no, I just want the best players out there. And I know he just passed away recently, but Don was an innovator in the game. He was the first one to put a point forward in a lineup. Like, we saw Scotty bring the ball up a lot, like when he was like, no, like, he was the one. That's why when you turn on Golden State, it was so unusual, right? You saw Manu Bol shooting threes. That was the thing. I remember seeing that. Like, what is this guy who's 7'7" shooting threes? They'd go in. So Don made the game fun. He just said, let me get my best 5 guys. And one night, we're just going to have a 6'3" guy on a big. It's like, okay, we're just going to give it up on the big end, and we just got to get back fast and score on the other end, right? But, like, that's when the game had a unique feel to it. Now, it's the Wild West. Because of analytics, though. That's the reason. So, well, Charles, I know that dinner is waiting for you. I know that she's going to, Mrs. CJ is going to slide it underneath the door for you. So,
just like the warden. Yeah, here's your dinner.
It's a little Dinty Moore. Just slide it underneath.
It's in a big silver cup, just.
I understand, man. Same way here. Same way here. So, hey, thank you. And thank you for checking out Jay Grizz. Thank you for checking us out. And thanks everybody for just being part of the show. We just always like to put on a little report back just to catch up on everything that's going on in Chicago sports and everywhere else. Make sure that you subscribe to the podcast, Under the Hood with Jonathan Hood. And we went ad-free. The only thing we want you to do is get yourself one of these T-shirts. Get yourself a T-shirt or get yourself a hoodie. And just check out our merchandise. The link is in the bio of our podcast. So just check it out. Go to the merch and just say, you know what? I'm going to get me a mug. You know what? I'm going to get me a hoodie. I'm going to get ahead of time and I'll get a hoodie like CJ's wearing right now.
That's right. Because I'm cold.
Yes, well, we can understand. Well, I mean, it's one of those things.
Yeah.
I watch Homeland. I can understand.
Yeah.
It's a little cold. I understand, sir. That's okay, man. If you ever need some help, don't call me.
All right.
So for Charles Taylor is Jonathan Hood. This has been Report Back right here on Under the Hood with Jonathan Hood. We'll talk to you next time. So long, everybody.